Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this MSTJRY 5-port multi-USB charging station. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful, I'll put a link to this in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So I actually got two of these in different colors, so we'll take a look at both. So I think these kind of devices are going to be more common as we get more and more electronics that need charging. It can become kind of a rat's nest as you're trying to organize and charge everything, so these can really help out. So this is a blue and kind of a gray color there, and this is a black color. So these also come with cables here. Okay, so it came with an assortment of cables here, which is really handy, and they're really short, so they're not going to take up a lot of space. So you're not going to have like a 6-foot cord hanging off this thing. So we got 3 iOS cables, 2 USB-C cables, and 2 micro USB cables. And then we also got a power cord. And on the black model, we got black cables. Looks like the black one came with a different assortment of cables. It came with 3 iOS cables and 2 micro USB cables. So if you want a greater variety of cables, the blue one had more cables with it. So this is a 5-port charging station, but it came with 7 cables. And then they both come with a power cable also. So I'm going to check out one of these. Here's the power cable. The power cable is 5 foot long, so we can plug that in the back here. So this has a rubber coating here, so this is kind of a soft rubber. And then it has plastic here. This feels kind of like a soft plastic, whatever kind of texture they have on here. And then we have rubber feet. So whatever surface this is sitting on, it's not going to slide around easily. So also in the box we have some partitions and we have the manual. So this has partitions so you can customize how wide you need these spots to put your devices. So let's take a look at the manual here. Here are the specs. So this is model KCE0085. Input power is 100 to 240 volts at 50 to 60 hertz. The output is 5 volts DC at 7 amps total. The output per port is 0 to 2.4 amps. Intelligent identification. The product size is 6.6 by 5 by 1.5 inches, and the weight is 1.2 pounds. So this will do 2.4 amps per port, but the total for all the ports is 7 amps. So you could do 3 devices at the full 2.4 amps. So what this will do is it will split it up between the devices to charge as fast as it can with what you have. So it says push one side all the way down, push the other foot in, push until you hear a click sound, plug in the power cord, plug it into the wall, switch it on, connect the devices, and there's some other things on the back here. So here are the partitions, and it is keyed. There's a little notch here, and there's a notch in here. So we'll press one side in and press the other. There we go. So I have a variety of devices here to charge. This is probably the most extreme one. This is an iPad Air 2, I think, and it has this really thick case on it. So I'll just kind of line it up here, and it looks like it'll fit between partitions. So I'll skip one of the slots, and I'll put the partition in. So I have 2 partitions there. And that does fit. It's a little bit tight fit. I don't know if this is the most ideal device to charge in this because it is so big and tall and thick. It certainly could work, but you want to be careful that this could, press over because there's a lot of leverage here. Because this has, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this has a huge handle up top. So I don't know if you want a kid grabbing that all the time, but it is fitting in there for the most part. Next I have an iPad Pro. So that looks like it could potentially fit like that, but I'm going to give it a little extra space and give it an extra, skip a slot. So we have that there. Then I have a Nintendo Switch. That will also skip a slot. And actually, let's skip this here. I have an Android tablet. This is a Nexus 7. We'll put that in its spot. Skip a slot. Then we have the Switch. And we'll skip a slot, although we don't need to. And I have an iPhone 6. So this is narrow enough that I could have done like that. But I might as well just skip a slot here. And you could leave that out. If you wanted to charge something like a GoPro, you could leave out your partition and just set that on there. So let me zoom out here. So here we have all our devices, so I can start plugging in cords. So I do have to reach under here to plug these in. It probably would have been slightly easier to do this beforehand, but it's not bad. So now I can plug these cords into the devices. So the Nintendo Switch has the charging port on the top, and that is a tight fit there. I could probably get it to work. I mean, I got it on there, but you'd probably want to get a little bit longer cord here. I could potentially put it upright like that. That seems to work pretty good, actually. So now I have all the devices plugged in. I'll turn the power off. So now I'll plug this into power, and I can turn on the switch, and everything will start charging. So let's just check these. That is charging. That's already charged. Unfortunately, I should have discharged that first. This one is charging, charging, and charging. So a nice feature of this is that it actually has a physical switch on it. So I'm going to go on, I have a power meter here, and we're currently drawing 37 watts or so as we're charging all 5 of these devices. Actually, one of them, I think the switch wasn't charging, but the other ones are charging. So if I turn this off, we'll see what this goes to. If it goes to 0. And it did go to 0. So it does look like this is actually cutting full power to this. So if you like to not have any power going to your devices after you're done charging them, this is a good option for you. Some charging docks might have a button on it that actually needs to have power to the device for it to operate, but this appears to be a physical switch. So if we turn this back on, we should see power come back to this. So that's the MSTJRY 5-port charging station. I like the compact size of this. It has a very small footprint on it. It comes with everything you need to charge lots of devices. So it comes with all of these cables. Now you may need more cables. Like if you had all USB-C devices, then you would potentially need to buy more cables. But it does come with a nice variety to kind of get you started. I like that it has rubber here on the top, so these aren't sliding in and out. So if you had to move this on your desk just a little bit, the devices aren't just going to slide off the side. The plastic has a nice feel to it, and then it has the rubber feet on the bottom, so it just feels very solid sitting on whatever surface it's sitting on. And one thing I just noticed here when I set this up is I have the cord sticking out the front, and it's because I was showing the switch. But ideally when you set this up, the devices would all face the other direction because you'd want the cord coming out the back. So I do have this backwards. So it certainly works this way, but it would look better if you have the cord coming out the back and the switch out the back, and you could reach around to turn the switch on and off. Also, I'm going to pull this out here. We'll set this up here. So there is enough grip on this surface that if you had a device like a phone here that you wanted to watch something on, you could watch it right now while it's plugged in and charging. Like even at this steep angle, that seems to be gripping it pretty good. Like if I put it all the way to the edge, it's kind of falling, but you can kind of tilt it upright and actually use this while it's charging. Now, obviously you can't use the devices behind it because you can't see them, but if you have a phone or something, you're going to have in the front, or you could put one of your tablets in the front, and you could actually utilize this while it's charging. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.